I am what you see. You know, I am that guy who came from inner city Detroit, who was a Marine, who was a cop, who struggled to get through school, who ultimately got through undergrad and ultimately went to law school, who started his own business and then helped others start other ones. I am that guy who's lived the dream. I joined the Marines in the very first part of 1979 and spent 4 years with the Marines. One of the best things I ever did. Those 4 years helped sort of turn me around, gave me the maturity and the confidence that I needed to move forward as an adult. And I wanted to be a cop really bad, and I had an aunt in North Texas that said, everybody's hiring here. So, never been to Texas before, was married at the time with a little 1-year-old kid, and showed up right here in Arlington. But once I came here, I knew this was the place I wanted to be. I found my new home. I'll live here to the day I die. I'm not going anywhere. During my 13 and a half years as a police officer here in Arlington, I finally finished my undergrad. I squeezed like 4 years of college into 12 years, but I took the path that a lot of people take here in Arlington. I went to the junior college. I went to UTA. I ultimately graduated from Dallas Baptist University. So I had done all the fun things that I wanted to do at the police department. I'd gone in, part of the first SWAT team, taught self-defense at the police academy, developed our own police academy, nearly 7 years undercover. I did all of that stuff, and I decided, you know what, we're gonna change gears. So at the ripe old age of 36, I cashed out my retirements that I had in there and paid my way through law school, finished law school in 28 months. I got tired of making really rich lawyers richer, so I decided I'm gonna go out on my own. So 12 years ago or so, I went out on my own and I opened up my own little office on Lamar. My key thing in the campaign when I ran for mayor was jobs, 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 jobs. And one of the things that companies want to look for when they come to a community is how do you treat others? I don't care what the color of your skin is, what you put on your skin. I don't care if you're old or young or overweight or underweight. I don't care what your cultural differences are. I don't care what your religious differences are, your sexual orientation. I care about who you are and what you do for this community. I don't expect to make everybody happy. What I expect to do is to help this community get to a better, higher level. And that's what I plan on doing. I hope to make as many people happy as I can along the way. I hope to continue to grow relationships with people, big and small. I hope that this city can continue to grow the way I believe we can. And I think we're gonna make a lot of dreams come true. We're gonna work together to make all of our dreams come true. I'm Mayor Jim Ross, and I'm alive with the American dream here in Arlington, Texas.
Everyone, please welcome to the stage your mayor of the great city of Arlington, Mr. Jim Ross.
Wow. You know, I'd almost vote for me after watching that thing. Our media people can make anybody look good, and I appreciate everything that they put together on this. I do have a little bit of a problem when you start showing those old pictures of me where I look like a Q-tip. You could keep those out next time. I've been mayor for a really long time now, 4 months. I get asked a couple of questions all the time. Biggest question I get is it everything you expected it to be? And it's a little bit more. I'm going to be candid. I was a little bit concerned at first because I was looking at our city council. And I'm thinking, well, I don't have a lot of real experienced council people left here. There's a lot of new faces because term limits came in and eliminated a lot of people who had been around and knew what they were doing. And if y'all haven't noticed, our council is representative of our community. They're diverse. We have men and women, black and white, Latinos. They have different political beliefs. And I'm wondering, well, is this something that's going to cause a struggle? With the newness of council and the diversity, is that going to be difficult? And what I learned was that this group of people have one overriding common theme about them. When you take away all the cultural differences and the political beliefs, we have a city council who is passionate about doing the right thing for this community. And I found that they love a word that unfortunately isn't common in political areas anymore, and that word is compromise. They still know how to compromise. They still know how to come together as a group and move this community forward. So if we could just take a second to say thank you, will y'all please stand and please recognize our incredible city council. They are amazing. So the next most common question I get is, Jim, how do you plan on filling the shoes of all of those crazy, wonderful mayors that we've had before you? We've had no shortage of some of the best leaders in the country, from Mayor Tom Vandergriff to Mayor Jeff Williams. And I was worried about that as well, because I've never run for anything in my whole life. I didn't plan on doing this, and in fact, if Mayor Williams was still able to be mayor, I'd still be sitting right down there where he is, listening to him right now and supporting him. But things aren't like that now, and we have to be able to continue to put things together. So am I going to be able to fill these shoes? I don't know. The jury's still out. But we have had some of the best leaders in this country, and one of them's here with us today. Mayor Williams, will you please stand and be recognized? The sacrifices that him and Karen have made, and by the way, y'all know I'm not married. So Karen has agreed to continue to be the First Lady of Arlington. Okay? I couldn't ask for a better First Lady, and I appreciate Mayor Williams lending her to me on occasions like this. So I appreciate y'all. My first 4 months. So here's what happens. When Mayor Williams' term was up, everybody decided they're going to run for mayor. We had 8 people running for mayor. We had our general election in May. We had the runoff election in June. I took office at the end of June. And at the end of June, what did I jump into the middle of? What's that B word? No, not that one. Reverend Goins, I ain't talking that. The budget. I step into a process that I knew nothing about. Over $500 million worth of budget in the middle of June, where we have to try to figure out how we going to keep this city afloat coming in out of this pandemic. And luckily, we have some of the best city folks around to help hold your hand and guide you through that. From Trey to Jim to Jennifer to Lemno to Mike Finley, to all of these people who help hold your hand and say, here's what we have to do. You tell us where you want us to go, and we'll figure out how to make that happen. We had a lot of challenges during the budget process. We had to work on restoring city services that were frozen. Frozen because of the pandemic. Frozen because we had to prepare for how long this thing was going to go on. Positions were frozen, pay raises were frozen, we couldn't fill positions. We had to improve our 911 services, both from a technological perspective and from a personnel perspective. The fire department needs some new vehicles. We have to pay for those things. Folks, we're hiring, finally, nearly 50 new firefighters, 20 new police officers. Park investments. And when I say park investments, we're talking about fixing our parks to be accommodating for everybody. I didn't realize until I became mayor, when we start looking at parks and making them playable for disabled children, that it doesn't help if you have a ramp going up into a playground if the gravel is so loose you can't move a chair through it. And we're making those type of investments into our parks to ensure that everybody has a place in Arlington. And as of this month, we are able to give all city employees a 3% pay raise. Our budget process is convoluted, it's confusing, it's complex. It has so many moving parts. But we have a city media department who is amazing at what they do. They were able to condense our budget process into a short video that went viral. Now, how on earth does a budget video go viral? They figured out how to make it happen. Let me show you.
I love my city. It has great parks for my kids, safe neighborhoods with friendly people, good libraries, and smooth roads. And now I can get anywhere in Arlington with Via. That's a lot. How does all that get done?
Good question. Keeping a city running takes a lot of work, and it starts with the annual budget. Just like with Legos, the parts of the city's budget come in a lot of different shapes, sizes, and colors, combining to provide the services that you have come to expect.
That makes sense. I rely on my regular trash and recycling pickup, good tasting water, and our police, who helped my neighbor just last week. How does all of that get paid for?
Well, it's a lot like your family when you sit down at the table and figure out your budget. In Arlington, our city council determines what priorities to invest in while ensuring we have a balanced budget. This year, the general fund, made up primarily from property and sales taxes, is expected to be $263 million.
That's a lot. I always wondered what my property tax bill was used for.
But remember, your property taxes are divided between 5 different groups. And as you can see, Arlington gets roughly 25%. This year's operating budget will use that money to maintain and enhance core services. They're like the building blocks of the city. This means $54 million invested in road construction and maintenance, $31 million for stormwater management and projects, which includes a proposed 50-cent a month increase. $169 million is proposed to pay for police and fire, $21 million for our parks and rec centers, and $9 million for the city's libraries. The proposed budget also includes a 3% increase in water fees to maintain our quality water service, which is still one of the lowest rates in North Texas, and a 41-cent a month increase for garbage and recycling.
Got it. But what does the city do when the unexpected occurs?
It happens. We recently lived through a global pandemic, recession, and a historic winter storm all in the same 12 months. But Arlington was ready. We set up mass testing and vaccination sites and worked 24/7 to get services restored as quickly as possible after the storm. And Arlington did it without dipping into its reserves or notably reducing services or cutting staff. And now that things are getting back to normal, people going to movies, shopping, eating out in local restaurants, and getting back to school, Arlington is positioned to build our economic momentum. Like this, the housing market is moving fast in Arlington, and it's no surprise with our safe, friendly neighborhoods and some of the most generous exemptions you'll find in the area, including the maximum homestead exemption. And the recent American Rescue Plan is helping Arlington overcome the negative economic impacts from the pandemic. That money, combined with Arlington's fiscally conservative budgeting, will allow the city to make important investments next year, including $7.2 million to restore key services, new playgrounds, and money to make sure park services are available for low-income residents, raises for employees with targeted adjustments for 911 dispatchers, more LED streetlights, generators, fire trucks, and patrol cars, and money to implement the Unity Council recommendations. In public safety, more than $7.4 million will pay for 47 new fire positions and improvements to our 911 system, while police will see an increase of $6.6 million with 20 new positions. And the proposed budget includes all of that without raising the property tax rate. In fact, for the 6th straight year, Arlington is lowering its rate.
Wow, that's a lot. It really helps to step back and look at the entire picture and everything that it takes to make it work.
You're so right. Lots of individual pieces and moving parts that merge together to create a community you can be proud of. A place that you can live, learn, work, and play, and make your American dream a reality.
When I say viral, I mean that they have 160 million national media reach on this video. Now, that's something to be proud of for our city to turn something like this into a viral message like this. Unfortunately, with all kinds of good things going on that we're going to get to in a minute, we occasionally have to deal with tragedy. We know that last week we had to deal with a situation in one of the high schools that are here in Arlington. And on September 5th, we had a little boy that was exposed to an amoeba here at a park on one of our splash pads. September 11th, the little boy passed away. This is one of the hardest things I ever had to do as a human, let alone as mayor, was to go see this child's parents and apologize and take responsibility for the city failing to protect that splash pad. I'm a father of 4 and a grandfather of 5, and I have a 3-year-old grandson. But I was raised that we work hard to do the right thing, but when the bad thing happens, we own it. And we stand up and we hold our head high and we tell them, listen, we're going to do everything in our power to never have something like this happen again. And that's what we did. Do we have anything new going on? Do we have any exciting news? Maybe a little bit. Yesterday we broke ground for the new Lowe's Arlington Hotel and Convention Center of 888 rooms just to the west of Choctaw Stadium. Yeah, absolutely. What this will do for Arlington is put us on a competitive stage with every single other major city in the country to battle for those big conventions that want to come here, to battle for those type of conferences that are going to come here. And it's smack dab in the heart of our entertainment district. I could not be more excited about what was going on out there yesterday and visiting with the Tisch family and everybody else out there. Y'all remember that building? The old ballpark. People love that building. That building has a new name. The Choctaw Stadium. This building is well underway to be repurposed. That is a significant part of our entertainment district, with the new Six Flags International headquarters moving into the building, and what a phenomenal place that is. With the Arlington football showdown that we just had there between Texas Southern and Southern University. Now, I'm sorry, I know some of y'all out there are Southern fans, but you know y'all lost, right? They have a 5-year deal to keep that Arlington showdown right here at Choctaw Stadium. Arlington Convention and Visitors Bureau is in Choctaw Stadium. The Arlington Economic Development Corporation will be moving in the Choctaw Stadium. Next year, we will have, as a part of Major League Rugby, the Jackals coming here and playing professional rugby in Choctaw Stadium. That's like a real tough sport. I might try out for that. Why y'all laughing at that? If you haven't seen the Van Gogh exhibit, get over there and check it out. What an amazing place. They have far exceeded expectations, and you would not believe you're in a stadium when you're inside that exhibit space. Elf on the Shelf is coming back to Arlington, as is Texas Chris Kindle, that's a mouthful, Market. What about this place? Globe Life Field. What in the world has happened there? Well, we had a few fun things happen recently. The 2020 National League Championship was played there. The World Series was played there. National Final Rodeo was played there. Tim McGraw concert. Chris Stapleton and Willie Nelson played there. And folks, if you haven't seen a concert over there, you're missing again, because this arena is built for multi-purpose venue. When you're sitting there listening to Chris Stapleton and Willie Nelson play, it's like they're on the radio. You don't hear an echo chamber. It is phenomenal. Green Day, Fall Out Boys. I didn't know who Fall Out Boys were. I don't want to show my age, but they're fun. And the Commander's Classic with the Air Force playing Army is coming there as well. I just saw how they've converted that Major League Baseball park into a football stadium. It's amazing what they can do over there. And these are just some of the new things coming up next year. Elton John, my personal favorite of all time, will be at Globe Life Field next year. And of course, next year, we all know the Rangers will be winning the World Series. Now, when that happens, I want y'all to say that Mayor Ross was the one that called it. right here at the State of the City, the Rangers win the 2022 World Series championship. Maybe they'll give me a ring if that happens. We can't forget about that small building just a little bit to the west of Globe Life Field, AT&T Stadium, the home of one of the most exciting football teams in the NFL right now, the Cowboys. I'm so excited about it, I just want to yell, how about them Cowboys? You know, it is that exciting. Trey, our city manager, and I had the pleasure Sunday of being at the game with the Tisch family. They own the Lowe's Hotel, and they invited us to come visit. And it was a great game for Trey and I. They also own the Giants. So y'all who know me, you know I struggled a little bit with being political and not rooting too much or rubbing it in when we whooped them soundly over there. We have exciting things happening at AT&T. Monster Jam's coming, Big 12 championship game, the Cotton Bowl, WrestleMania, which is huge. Listen, whether you're a wrestling fan or not, you have to be an Arlington fan when this type of organization is coming here. This is some exciting stuff. Kenny Chesney. But it's not just the sports that's going on. Our cultural district is second to none. And if you didn't get an opportunity to see the 30 Americans exhibit at the Arlington Museum of Art, it was amazing. The Dallas Morning News called it the best exhibit in all of North Texas. That means our little museum of art, sitting right here on Main Street in Arlington, had the best exhibit in all of Dallas and Fort Worth and Denton and everywhere. They had one piece of art in there worth over $30 million. Unbelievable. Next year, they're bringing in the Legends of Disney. That is something that, as a granddad, I can't wait to get my grandkids to that. Theater Arlington. Anybody else miss Theater Arlington? Yeah. Don't worry. They're coming back bigger and stronger than they've ever been before. And you're going to love the renovations to Theater Arlington. The Levitt Pavilion. One of the coolest things on the face of the earth just happened at the Levitt. During the 20th anniversary of 9/11, the Levitt had Lee Greenwood here singing what has to be one of the most patriotic songs of all time, I'm Proud to Be an American, on the 20th anniversary. He could have been doing that in any city around the country, but he did it here at the Levitt in Arlington, Texas. And this Saturday night, if y'all don't have anything going on, being a guy from the streets of Detroit, I'm sort of into this old rock, all right? And Styx, of all people, is playing at the Levitt. That's the type of entertainment that we're getting here now that's just beyond compare. But this thing, the National Medal of Honor Museum, scheduled to break ground this coming spring, is a feather in the cap of not just Arlington, not just Tarrant County, not Dallas and Fort Worth, not the state of Texas, but the entire country. The entire country. I didn't realize that we never had a National Medal of Honor museum in this country. And thanks to the efforts of a lot of people, but particularly Trey Elverton and Jeff Williams, we have this place right here in the heart of Arlington. I could not be more proud as a veteran to have the National Medal of Honor Museum coming here in Arlington starting next year. These type of projects would not be possible if we didn't have the extraordinarily generosity of the Arlington Tomorrow Foundation. They have helped on every single one of these things to the tune of over $37 million. Absolutely incredible, and we would not be able to do this without them. Now, I'm proud of Arlington. There's a lot of cool stuff going on in this city. So I tried to find a way to explore some of the cool things happening in this city. And I got with Jay Warren and his media group over there, and we came up with a process that we're going to be doing once a month or so on a video series called Explore Arlington to highlight some of the special things happening here in Arlington. Y'all take a look. Hello, folks. Mayor Jim Ross here in Globe Life Field, and welcome to the very first adventure of Explore Arlington. You know, I've been to concerts, rodeos, baseball games, all kinds of events here at Globe Life Field, and I've always wondered what it would be like to compete, what it would be like to be on a stage and perform here. Obviously, I'm not a professional athlete, but I found out a way where the mayor can compete here in Globe Life Field. Y'all follow me. Watch this.
Mayor Ross, how you doing today?
Hello, Chuck. How are you?
I want to welcome you to the best seat in Major League Baseball right here in Arlington, Texas at Globe Life Field.
No doubt this is absolutely the best seat. I came in, though, looking for a favor from you.
Anything. We'll do anything for you.
Well, here's the thing. I've been to a ton of events here. I've seen concerts and baseball games and rodeos and everything. But I've always had a desire to be able to compete in Globe Life Field. And I think as mayor, I need to be able to do that. The only problem is I'm not a professional athlete.
Well, let me see here. You know what? I think I have the thing that you would excel at.
I think we're on the same track. You think you could pull some strings and make this happen?
I'll make it happen.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for today's running of the Sport of Kings. It's the original Major League dot race. Make your pick now, red, blue, or green. And a special guest today, running as the blue dot, the mayor of Arlington, Texas, the Honorable Jim Ross. A reminder, this is an exhibition. No wagering, please. Make your pick now, red, blue, or green. And here come the dots out of the left field gate. And the dots are off and running. The red dot is off to a great start. Jim Ross, the Arlington mayor, running second right now. The green dot close behind. Green dot is now passing by the mayor. Green is now passing red. Hit the center field gate. Arlington Mayor Jim Ross has made his move. He now leads the green dot and the red dot. What a race at Globe Life Field. This is incredible. They're into the final area, headed toward the finish line. Right now it's Mayor Ross as the blue dot, followed by red, green, at the finish line. Mayor Jim Ross has done the unbelievable. He has defeated the veterans, the red and green dot, to win today's dot race here at Globe Life Field. I can't believe what I just saw.
Woo! Chuck,
Doc, how was that?
Mr. Mayor, that was incredible. One of the greatest things I've ever seen in the history of dot racing. You are ready for prime time. You're ready for Major League Baseball and a dot race here at Globe Life Field.
Oh, thank you, sir. Folks, that's what it's like here in Arlington, Texas. I can now say I have competed in Globe Life Field. Check one off of my bucket list. Stay with us. Stay tuned for the next great adventure on Explore Arlington. All right, first of all, they had to slow the film down a little bit because I was flying, all right? I was really moving fast in that, and it just looks like I was going slow, but I was really flying. We're going to go around and we're going to do different things throughout the city, but we want to highlight some of the businesses here in town. So keep a close watch on us. You may see me doing crazy things, from throwing pizza pies to axe throwing to wall climbing. Who knows what you're going to see the mayor doing next, but we're going to do some crazy things. But here's the thing. Y'all can join with us on this thing. If you get up here on the screen and you start engaging with us in social media, not only can you follow us, but you can create your own videos. Don't duplicate my dot race, because y'all can't do that kind of stuff, but you can create your own videos and join us when we get through there. Throughout my campaign, one of the big things I wanted to talk about was jobs, 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 and jobs. In order for us to attract people that bring jobs, we have to do a number of things well. One of the first things we have to do is have safe neighborhoods. We have to make sure that we're taking care of our folks. Thanks to Chief Al Jones, we've been able to create this program called Operation Connect. Because, see, folks, during the pandemic, one of the key parts of law enforcement fell apart. And then we started dealing with a lot of social issues that made it difficult, because the key parts being the community engagement, because nobody was engaging with one another anymore, and we couldn't because of the pandemic. And we started to see things all across the country like violent crime increase. Al Jones created Operation Connect that gives us an opportunity so far to have over 3,600 community engagements, hundreds of people arrested for violent crimes, incredible opportunity for people to come out and meet the police, because what really makes the trend change isn't always the number of officers on the streets. It's the interaction between the community and the police. Part of keeping our neighborhoods safe is keeping them healthy. And Chief Don Krausen in the Arlington Fire Department have done an amazing job at helping keep our community healthy. They've given almost 230,000 vaccinations since December. Arlington is now over 50% vaccinated, 52.8% vaccinated. And still to this day, we are open 5 days a week giving vaccinations down on South Cooper Street. I'm proud to say that our city council cares about our first responders. Last night, they approved the Arlington Fire Department's petition to seek meet and confer. And our city manager will be moving forward with meet and confer with memorandums for both the police and fire, something that both the police and fire have been wanting to do for a while now. And for those of you who are involved, thank you so much. And Chief Krause and Chief Jones, and if you're a member of the police and fire, please stand to be recognized. Thank y'all. City services. This takes every ounce of energy we have sometimes to ensure that our city services, from trash collection to transportation to permitting to the parks and rec, everything is functioning well. Companies want to know that we're taking care of our business. And not only are we taking care of our business, but when it comes to issues like transportation, can I just tell y'all, before I became mayor, I told Jeff Williams this long ago, I didn't know a thing about transportation. I had no idea what I was doing with that. Since I become mayor, I've realized exactly how innovative our city has been when it comes to transportation. The largest city in the country with the driverless vehicles, with the autonomous vehicles. They're cruising all through UTA. I went and rode with them. I was a little bit scared, but it was okay. I got over it. But they are amazing. What we are doing transportation-wise is cutting edge. And we have people here in Arlington, we have companies here in Arlington who are looking at doing things like air taxi service. If you could imagine just hooking up to a harness and flying over to Dallas in the not too distant future. That's crazy. Our planning and development created the One Start Development Center, which gives businesses an opportunity to go to one place and get all of their questions answered. That is so critically important to attract the new business here, to do the hand-holding necessary and develop those relationships. People want to know what we're doing educationally. And I remember thinking, well, what does a mayor have to do with education? I have Marcelo. I don't need to do anything with education. And that's sort of kind of true, because we have some of the best educational leaders anywhere here in Arlington. But what we were able to do was create something called the Education Coalition. And the Education Coalition has been made up of the public school systems, AISD, MISD, Kennedale, all the public school systems that pull from our kids here in Arlington, the charter schools who are here in Arlington, private schools here in Arlington, Homeschooling Association, TCC, UTA, every educational entity, including early learning facilities, come together to put their differences aside and work collectively for the betterment of all of our kids. And this has never been done anywhere before, and it's a credit to all of you educational leaders here in Arlington, so thank y'all so much. The last part of the puzzle is community. Because I remember when these big companies were wanting to come to Arlington, one of the things they look for is, how do we treat each other? How are we dealing with social issues? How are we connecting and taking care of one another? We all heard, Arlington's the most diverse city in all of North Texas. We're the second most diverse city in the state of Texas, and the 8th most diverse city in the country. I would argue that the source of our strength is our diversity, not our weakness. That makes us stronger. It gives us an opportunity to feed off of one another. It gives us an opportunity to learn from one another. Because when push comes to shove, regardless of our ethnic differences, our cultural differences, our racial differences, our age differences,
our religious differences, our sexual preference differences, relationships matter. So when we talk about the wonderfully good things that Arlington has done and the wonderfully good things that are on the horizon for what we're about to do, it all comes back to our relationships with one another, our relationships with God, our relationships with our community. And if you don't think relationships matter, ask Six Flags Over Texas. Ask General Motors. Ask D.R. Horton. Ask the Tisch family and the Lowe's. Ask the Cordish Group with Texas Live. Ask Ray Davis with the Texas Rangers. Ask Jerry Jones with the Cowboys. Ask the new company Wallbox that just came from Barcelona, Spain, to develop a manufacturing plant here on East Arkansas Lane of about 130,000 square feet. Ask UTA. Ask TCC. Ask AISD if relationships matter to them. See, the bottom line, folks, what's really exciting of where we're going is that we do it together. What's really proudful about dealing with the tragedies that we experience, whether it's the pandemic or the snowmageddon or a small child that passes away, is that we do it together. And the thing that makes me the most proud of this community is that we set the example. We are the trendsetters of how to work together, how to make the unthinkable thinkable, and how to take it from thinkable to productive. And with that, thank y'all for being here. God bless y'all. I love you.